But this is the edited version.
Come on!
No sugar tonight?
No sugar tonight, my coffee.
She needed a burrito.
I do too, but I'm still here.
We think burrito was code for dick.
Oh, that might be true. Sorry. I accidentally leaned over too far onto my cat and he just yelled at me.
At least it didn't bite you.
You get the cat scratch fever.
He doesn't do that, thankfully. I don't have $2,800.
Neither did Jake's until he tried to save its life.
No shit.
Come on!
Hey, Jake finally goes back to work and starts making money just in time to have to spend it on hospital bills.
Right?
Love the appreciation his cat showed. Thank you for not letting me fall 20 feet.
It was only like probably like 9.5 feet. But, you know, he would have survived. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
You know, when I start thinking about cats or like other animals, I realize just how screwed humans are. Like, you know, cats are pretty much laying on their feet all the time and be all right. Like, pretty much every animal in the animal kingdom is born and like within like 5 minutes they're walking. Or like they at least have control of their bowels.
Well, they don't have control. They poop anywhere they want.
No, but they know to poop away from where they eat, just like instinctually.
I mean, I think they just shit.
It's an instinctual thing for animals. They know
Cats don't. Cats, the mother cat licks their butthole.
It's to clean them.
No, it's to make them poop.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That is information I did not need.
I mean, you're the one that brought it up. I'm just saying.
I didn't bring up the stimulation of the poop.
You brought up poop and babies. So here we are.
Okay, so maybe humans aren't that screwed. We don't have to lick our babies' assholes.
How many times did you get slapped when you were actually born?
When I was actually what?
Born.
I hear there was a bit of a like oopsie situation in the delivery room.
I'm gonna pee real quick. Fuck this.
We're not allowed to cuss.
Well, that's only when Andrew's on. This is the
Only
part
when
of the
Dad's
show.
listening.
Yeah, this is the part of the show he doesn't pay attention to, and neither does the FCC.
Yeah, but he doesn't listen to it later. So, like, when he uploads it, are we getting in trouble? I don't know anything about the second part.
He can't do anything to us. He needs us.
I'm just here to talk.
Come on!
Although I can't wait till he does his show to save to save Asian people. That'll be good.
I keep trying to tell him if he has to ask, is it racist if I say the answer is yes?
Is it insensitive? But yes, it is.
It is.
You hear what it is.
It's very
You
best.
asked for it.
It's insensitive.
That's why I stopped asking the question. Just say whatever the heck I want.
It doesn't
Jeez,
make
Lee,
it better.
What
You
is
didn't get the
up,
black
everybody?
t-shirt
Welcome to
memo?
Wednesday. Our last show of the week. This portion of the show brought to you part by RCI Interior Design, specializing in residential, commercial, and senior living interior design. Also brought to you by Harold Jaffe Jewelers, where Toledo gets engaged. Always at Harold Jaffe Jewelers on Talmadge Road in Toledo. Also, what's so funny?
I was giving him crap about everyone else was wearing black t-shirts.
Oh,
So did he go change?
He's doing it right now.
Oh my gosh. Memorable Lights brings your memories to light with 3D litho panes, photos seen through light. It can do that with night lights, cube lights, and coming soon lampshades. Rachel Michaels Gourmet Popcorn, the best damn popcorn in all of the
really
land.
is.
Yeah, they got good
Now
stuff.
I'm warm.
that's truth.
On Monroe. Yeah, why would you double up? You're a fat dude. Come on. All right, here we go. Let's do
Would
this.
you rather have seen my man boobs on the air?
Oh, no.
Presentation. This is Ed McMahon.
I think we got a glimpse.
And now, here's Andrew.
Hi, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is June 24th, Wednesday, the year of our Lord.
In the morning, it's time to wake up. Andrew's in the morning, yeah.
Come on.
Come on.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Comedian Chris Tiefel is with us tonight. Comedian Jake Dickey in the house. And then a random chick from the South Side that we found decided to give her a computer and some headphones. She's actually got the only computer on the South Side. Southside Gina, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited to get things started. It's our last show of the week. Hopefully you guys enjoy it and participate. You can even call the show. You got the number. It's right there on the screen.
Andrew's in the morning.
Woo!
Actually on there twice because Andrew doesn't know how to work computers and copied and pasted it twice.
Dude, I
And
don't
he does
know.
it every show.
No, I just do it one way, and it screws it up on its own. I don't know. I only put it in once. I don't put it in there twice. I can tell
Right.
you.
It has nothing to do with the user at all. It's all the computer.
It's the computer. It's the digital thing we got. Anyway, welcome to the show, everyone. You know what I saw for the first time in probably 20 years? I was driving from...
Oh my gosh, have you lost that much weight? Good job! Congrats!
Oh.
Which was
See,
it?
that's
Piggy
a-
that goes to market or the piggy that stayed home?
It's the one that went wee all the way home.
Yeah, it's the one that goes wee, for sure.
No, he still didn't see that.
Oh, you guys are funny. South Side, I was going from the South Side to Perrysburg and going over the Perrysburg Maumee Bridge, and I'm behind a U-Haul pickup truck. And there's two people in the cab of the truck. And then there's one lonely guy, probably about 18, that's actually in the bed of the truck. And it caught me by surprise because I'm like, at first I don't think that's, I wasn't trying to be a Karen, but I don't think that's legal. Like, I almost want to take a picture of it just to be like, is this legal? And then I'm
Mind
like,
your business.
Yeah, no, then people are going to be like, oh, here's Karen. So I didn't even take the picture. But I did want to talk about it here. I don't know if that's legal. You can ride in the back. And the worst thing is they were black and rolling into Perrysburg with a dude in the bed.
Wait. How was the worst thing that they were black?
I just told you. You didn't. You wanted to be outraged before you let me finish the whole thing.
No, they were
Karen,
black and rolling into
Karen,
Perrysburg. I wasn't being a Karen.
Black rolling into Perrysburg with a dude in the back of the bed.
And possibly doing something illegal is what he's saying.
No, they weren't doing anything illegal. No, they were probably moving some furniture or something. They weren't doing anything.
So you can.
I don't know why I don't know why you would assume that, Gina, because you're racist. Because I was not assuming they were doing something illegal at all, other than riding in the
You're
back of the
questioning
truck.
the legality of riding in the back of a freaking pickup truck. That's
Yes.
literally the entire conversation is about the legality.
I thought you meant legal, like they're coming into Perrysburg to steal
No,
something.
quit
or
being
something.
stupid.
I'm not the one
Anyways,
that thought that. The other two thought that as well. That's the way you made it sound.
if,
Actually, I was just joking.
it is legal to ride in the bed of a pickup truck if you're over 16 and it's going under 25 miles per hour.
Well, this wasn't going under 25.
Well, then it was illegal.
This was they were going definitely 35 or 40.
I saw it the other day with a couple of teenagers in the back of a pickup.
Did
I
you?
didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
But you know what I did? Is I kept my mouth shut and I kept driving.
Minded your own business.
I did. Shut up.
Maybe that's how they have to ride to social distance properly.
Oh, maybe so they'd probably get away with it, I guess. Then but,
Was he holding something in the back of the truck? Because I totally feel him on
Holding
that. Like
something?
you gotta hold it down so it doesn't fly out.
No.
He was holding himself down so he didn't fly out.
The truck was empty, like they were probably going to pick stuff up because it seemed like there was nothing in the bed of the truck. So
I used to love riding in the back of a pickup.
me too. It was my favorite thing.
Like you'd hit a bump. It's,
There were even
Did anybody
there were-
Karen out on take a picture and ask if it was legal?
I usually just got, because you'd be going on the dirt roads and stuff out in Texas.
Dude, there were
You
even
hit a bump and you get launched up and land
Yes.
on the other side of the truck bed.
there were even times as a kid where I'd ride on the outside, like the rail of the truck. It was no big, you know what I mean? I'd sit on, I don't know what you call that thing, but the outside of the truck. I would sit on the thing back in the day and wouldn't
You
even
mean the
think.
bumper?
No,
You
no,
ride
no,
on the
no,
bumper.
the
The tailgate?
no. The side, like I ride actually
On the rails?
I would be sitting on the side, yeah, like the rail.
Was this after you robbed the bank?
Oh,
and
you're
you had to
talking,
make a fast getaway?
Okay, so you're talking about like the actual little thin piece at the top.
Yes.
Okay.
I would actually. There's times going through traffic, 60 miles an hour on the freeway. It didn't matter. I would sit on that thing, and
I mean, you do have a low center of gravity, so I think it helps.
Go ahead, Jake.
He has cushion if he falls off for sure.
Shut up.
So Colleen's aunt, Andrew's wife's aunt, she had polio when she was little, and she's in a wheelchair, and she
Really?
always wanted to ride on a motorcycle.
Oh my gosh.
But she can't ride on a motorcycle. So her brother, so Colleen's uncle, put her in the back of a pickup truck, like her chair, and like put her, strapped her in there, made sure she was safe, and then took her for a ride on the so it's like a motorcycle ride.
That's cool. Like
Yeah, it
I
was.
think the only thing cooler would have been if they'd have strapped her to like a trailer, because then you could really get the.
It might have been that. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was something.
Take
It
that
was
sharp turn.
something.
Yeah, exactly.
But she got to experience that, and that
That's
was pretty
awesome.
cool.
Go ahead, Jake.
So one time when I was living in BG, me and my buddy were out at the bars, and afterwards he's like, "I'll give you a ride back to your place." I was like, "All right, cool." He's like, "Just hop in the back, and he had a bunch of stuff in the cab of his truck." He's like, "Get in the bed." He's like, "But lay down because BG cops might freak out." So I was laying flat, and when he got to my house, he missed my street, and he slammed on the brakes, and my head hit the back
Oh,
of the cab. And I think that was the first time in my life I really think I had a concussion, but
back
it was
in
like
the day.
2:30 in the morning, and it was a little buzzed up, and it was like, I'm good. I'm just going to walk it off.
Go ahead, Gina.
So one time we this is not a good story.
Uh-oh.
We had a U-Haul rented because one of us had moved, like one of us kids, we were like teenagers, but older, like 18, 19. And so we got really hammered, and we thought it'd be funny to put a bunch of people in the back of the U-Haul and then like drive around erratically. And so like we were like tossing people around in the back of the U-Haul, like just driving around. It was, I don't think anybody got hurt, but I only vaguely remember. And I'm pretty sure I was driving. If I wasn't driving, I was in the front because there's no way I was bouncing around the back of a U-Haul.
There were times when I was a kid, like 16, 17, 18, in the high school days, where we would actually, if people were being annoying, we would put them in the trunk and then close it, and then we would drive erratically, like slam on the brakes and
So
stuff
you
in
would
the
kidnap
trunk, and you could hear them go, ah!
The people you knew or these strangers that were annoying you.
Yeah. How dare you shush me?
Like we're gonna have to go look at like all the old missing posters from the area from when you were a kid, like 1925 missing posters. That's what we're gonna have to look up right now.
Oh, go ahead, Jake.
There's a great episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they get in the back of a U-Haul and they're pulling it around. They're trying to go to the Grand Canyon, and they stop and they put furniture in the back of the U-Haul. But then they decided they wanted to have a campfire too, and they almost died because they started a fire in the back of it, and all the smoke was stuck in it.
To their credit, they tried to put ventilation in, but the duct tape just would not hold.
Well, here's the thing. So we as a kids, again, we put people in the trunk. There was one time that we went to Tijuana when I was living in L.A., and Tijuana was about a 3-hour drive. So you drive to the border, and we would do it every couple months, few months we'd go. And there was one night, it was like 11 o'clock at night. We had nothing better to do. We're like, let's just go to Tijuana. Everyone thought it was a great idea. But we only had one car, and there was like 8 of us that wanted to go. So there were actually 3 or 4 people in the trunk. We had to he had a big Cadillac, and we actually put 3 or 4 people in the trunk and we left it open just a little bit, like we didn't shut it closed, but they actually rode that way all the way to Tijuana on a 3-hour drive in the trunk just to get everybody there.
You might be the first person to ever smuggle people into Mexico.
Yeah, okay.
That's happened a lot coming the other way.
So far, if anyone's paying attention, he's admitted to kidnapping people, and he's also admitted to smuggling across an international border.
Well, no, you stop at the border because we didn't drive over the border because you never want to take your car over there because it would get stolen or they would take your car seats out or whatever. So we would park at the border.
Notice how the story changes, FBI.
We'd park at the border, then we'd walk over. There's a bridge that you walk over actually into Mexico, and then there was taxis right there waiting to take you into downtown Tijuana, where we were trying to get to all the strip clubs. So they would just we tell them. A bad word for rhymes with wussy. They would be like, wussy, wussy. And we're like, yes, take us. and they would just take us to the
Now,
clouds.
see, he keeps saying when he was kid, so now I'm just trying to imagine like 13, 14 year
This
old
this
Andrew.
was 4 years ago.
This is 16, 17, 18. And I remember
This was in the 1920s. Uncle Paul said the running board was what you used to ride on.
yeah, is that what they call the thing that you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You said-
And Mama Judy
What?
said the wood panel station wagon put the two kids in the back with the traveling to New York and threw coloring books back.
Yeah,
there.
we actually did that one time. Me and my sister.
We had one of those too.
Station wagon.
Yeah.
We rode back there the whole time. No seatbelt, nothing.
Yeah.
And the thing was, my sister was probably only maybe 2 or 3 years old, so they took the, and I'm going to embarrass the hell out of her. I know she's listening right now.
She is.
They
I'm
took the
waiting for her to
porta,
comment.
they took her little piss pot thingy, the potty training thing, so that they didn't have to pull over, go to the bathroom. She could just
Brilliant.
piss in the
Wait,
back.
how old was she?
She was probably like 2 or 3 years old at
Oh,
the time. She was 15.
Hey, that's what I was wondering. That's what I was wondering.
I remember when I was little and we had the wood panel station wagon, a couple things happened. The first thing was that I think I was sleeping in the back seat, and this is before seatbelts. And I remember my dad, like somebody ran a red light. My dad had to slam on his brakes, and I just remember hitting the back of their seat so hard, like just flying up and then hitting the floor. And then the other thing was we were driving on the road. We had my sister's like basketball team in the van or in the station wagon, and the back opened up, and like kids were like falling out of the back. It was like we weren't going fast, but we lost a couple of basketball players. We had to like yell, like, "Hey,
Well,
stop!"
And in those days, you didn't even think about suing. You just, it's tough luck.
Oh, yeah.
Tifa, go ahead.
No, seatbelts
So,
weren't required.
Wait, when I was around 7 or 8, we had a van like this, like one of those huge conversion vans.
Oh, and
I
all
remember
of
that.
those things.
Like,
They were
yeah,
like,
and it was-
they had captain's chairs and plush.
Yeah, and it was all orange, and brown was the color scheme. But in the back, the
It was
seating
full of candy.
Yeah, in the back, the seating could be reconfigured. And so it was either seating around a table that you could install in the back,
Yeah.
or you could pull the table out and reconfigure it into a bed. Like that, because you could use it for camping.
Right.
And so, like, first thing we lost was the plunger for the hole that the table fit into. So we just had this hole in the bottom of the van all the time. And my brother and I would like throw GI Joes and stuff down there. Like we tie them to a string and
Like
put the
Napoleon
G.I. Joes down.
Dynamite?
like we're questioning them and we're just dragging them behind the van as torture. And then there was like one day we didn't have the table there, but we had the seating like it was around the table. And I'm laying on it, and all of a sudden we just hit this huge pothole, and I opened my eyes, and right as I opened my eyes, I'm like an inch away from the ceiling of the van, because that pothole just launched me up, and I just closed my eyes, and it was like a cartoon, it was like bam, right back down up there.
Go ahead, Jake.
Dude, all you needed, Chris, is a funnel to put in that thing, and you could have just pissed while going down the highway.
Exactly.
We pissed in the hole
Brilliant.
anyway. What do you
Yeah,
think?
That's what I'm saying.
You stuck your dink in the hole and just
You don't stick your dink in the hole.
Oh.
You just aim.
That was Chris's first ever glory hole.
Chris has never stuck his dink in any hole.
Oh God.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Get
Yes,
a
I
tissue.
have. Yes, I
Get a
have.
tissue.
Back in '92, I had a girlfriend.
I have stuck it in holes. Probably not recommended holes, but it has been there.
I've stuck it in lots of holes.
Oh, yeah,
Lots of holes.
Yeah, Gina. God. Talking about things we did as a kid that really weren't safe. There was one time, it was New Year's Eve, and we were going to the Rose Parade. I was living in California. I was probably 15, 16. We were going to the Rose Parade the next day.
The third Rose Parade.
What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Third one ever that happened.
The original Rose Parade. What are you talking about?
So I asked mother. I said, "Hey, Mammy, can we sleep on the roof because
Did
there's
you become the Time Warner Frog?
there's a lot of fireworks, on New Year's Eve." So I said, "Hey, can we sleep on the roof when she has fireworks?" She's like, "Yeah, go ahead." So we took the sleeping bags, and we slept. Me and my stepbrother slept on the roof. Just the two of us. We slept on the roof, and
Sounds romantic.
and we have two parts of the roof. We have the what is it, triangle roof. What is it? What do they call that? The high roof, triangle. It's called something.
They call it a roof.
An A roof. I think it's A-frame roof. We have an A-frame roof, and the other part of the house was a flat roof, like a straight, like a regular plank or whatever, paneling. And so she meant to sleep on the flat part. So we went on the top of the A-frame and put our sleeping bags. And so
Wait, did you sleep like Snoopy at the top of the A-frame,
yes,
or were you on the side?
Well, on the side, not on the top. We were on the side because there was two of us in the same sleeping bag. So we shared a sleeping bag. The two of us were on the top of the A-frame. So then it got cold, and it was in the middle of the night, and I woke up, and I forgot where I was. So I tried to get out of the sleeping bag, and we had slid down to the bottom of the A-frame.
Oh, Jesus.
And so I tried to get up. We both fall. Luckily, my stepbrother broke my fall, so I was fine.
This is the story of how Andrew killed his brother.
Yeah, he passed away. And no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding on that part. But he really hurt himself, and we ended up not being able to go.
It sounds an awful lot like you hurt him. It's
Like, he really hurt himself when I fell on top of him.
when I caused the fall and then fell on top of him.
We ended up not even being able to go to the Rose Parade because he hurt his leg.
And
my mom's like, "What are you doing? Wait, meant for you to sleep on the flat part of the roof, not the
It's her fault for
A-frame."
not
she
checking.
just sent you upstairs and up to the roof and didn't even check. Come on, Mom.
13. I mean,
Didn't even give you a roll of
I
duct
mean,
tape or anything.
obviously you
Did
weren't
she
the
also
brightest.
tell you to go play on the highway and not check that you weren't actually on the highway?
no.
She obviously you weren't the brightest crayon in the box. She had to know that she had to check on you.
She did. She's trusted me. I knew what I was doing.
Apparently not, yeah.
Is there anything else that you think of that you did as a kid that probably looking back on wasn't the safest or smartest thing to do?
We don't have that much time. I was an idiot.
Really?
I was so dumb.
I'm really glad that there were not camera phones when I was
I
growing up.
know. Oh my gosh.
Especially later, like teenage and like older, like even into my like early 20s, like there'd be video evidence. Oh no.
There's at least one picture of my Halloween junior year of high school that it's a Polaroid and it's in somebody's basement buried in a bunch of stuff, but it would come up if I ever ran for office.
But I got so many of those stories. That's why I'll never run for I mean, obviously I have no political anything, but
Yeah.
I can't. My past would come. I mean, sometimes I think about it because there's a lot of my 20s I don't remember. So I'm like, well, they'll figure out what happened.
When Gina was 25,
They could piece together a whole chunk of my life my friend and I, we used to go out. We went out a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean like 6 nights a week. But we would get, like, I may or may not have been bordering on a drinking problem, but we would take those disposable cameras with us.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a bunch of pictures, but they've been lost over the years. But the reason we took the pictures was so that we could go develop them the next day to remember what happened the night before.
Did you
So we
ever
could put
actually
together our
develop them?
night. What?
Did you ever actually develop them?
Yeah, we did it all the time, and we developed it because we never knew what was going to be on them. So we always use like pretend names. Like we use like her name's Angie, but we use feet for her
Totally
name.
believable.
Like we have pretend names to develop these pictures because you don't know what's going to be on them. And if you show up and the cops are there, like, I don't know, I'm not Fifi. I don't even have any idea.
But there was a time. First of all, remember the photo mat where you would drop the film off and then we'd have to wait like a week to get your pictures back.
This is like 2 hours though. That was way back in the day.
When I first moved here, there was still a photomat in the parking lot on Burn in Glendale.
It's a liquor store now, and it's always packed because the lazy asses don't want to get out of the car. It's always packed. Go ahead, Jake.
The drive-through liquor store in Toledo?
Yes.
There's
Shut
one in Perry-
up.
There's one in Perrysburg too, on the same street that
But-
Tire Man's
but
on.
this one's
or
like-
Mommy.
This one's like a photo. Yeah, but that's a drive-through. This was an actual photo mat, so you're only driving up to the little booth, and you get your cigarettes, you get your lottery tickets, and you get your booze. You don't even have to get out of the car, and it's
That's
always
brilliant.
packed. Go ahead, Jake.
Brilliant.
I was one of the first ones to get my license out of the group of friends growing up, and we would play a lot of roller hockey, and we'd play at the church parking lot, and we would put the nets on top of my car because I had like one of those old school roller skate cars, so the hockey nets would fit perfectly over the top. But then all my friends, we'd be over at my buddy's house picking up the nets, and they'd all have their skates on, and they would grab my bumper as I drove to the parking lot. And that seemed like a great idea until I found the first pothole. And rollerblades and potholes do not mix when you're going 30 miles an hour.
Oh,
How many
God.
sprained ankles?
Yeah, right.
I'm lucky I didn't kill people.
I remember there was a time where we used to hang out at the park. You know, when we were old enough to drive, we were like 16, but we couldn't really go anywhere. So we would actually drive like to a park, and then the police would come and shoo us away, and then we go to another park, and then so we had like 3 or 4 parks that we would go to. But I remember one time, this buddy of mine, none of us wanted to use the porta potty. There was at the parks. They had like a couple porta potties. No one ever wanted to use them. And finally, one of my friends had to go really bad, so he ended up using the porta potty. And we drove the car up to the porta potty, and it was on a hill. So we drove into the porta potty, knocked it over with him in it, and knocked him down. And he was sliding, not like a cliff, but like a hill, like you could roll down, like you would do for sledding. And
I'm about to gag. Like my mouth is watering. Like
All I can think of is that
now.
South Park scene where they got sent to the camp and Cartman goes in the porta john and there's a kid hiding down there from the camp people.
The kid. So
And then the kid's
he
like, please
covered
don't
in
tell him. And so he just, what?
Andrew, I'm stuck on Andrew's story.
Yeah.
When he came out, was he covered in crap?
Yes.
He was Smurf.
I would have murdered you right after I got done puking.
How long did he stay a friend?
Deborah Nichols is like, ew. I mean, it was just a thing we did. We were bad friends. We
No,
used to do that to
no.
people.
Tiefel, your sister spilled the tea on what that picture could come up is. Just so you know.
What's up, bitches?
Tea?
Oh, Sugar.
Hi.
Hey, Sugar. Hold on.
Just in time to hear some tea on Tiefel.
Yeah,
Oh,
What is
Lord.
tea?
real quick.
I don't understand what you're saying tea.
Tea
Gossip.
is gossip.
Gossip.
Real quick, before
Yeah,
you do
just
that,
say
Gina.
gossip.
Before you do that, Gina, that's the kids are saying tea. Before you do that, Gina, Sugar,
Definitely ain't the kids.
we're talking about things we did as a kid. Looking back, that was probably not a good idea to do while you're looking back. All right, so go ahead, Gina.
So the picture that's going to come up if Tiefel ever runs for office is him dressed as a stripper with fishnet stockings and heels.
What
Okay,
is
well,
that
first
all
off, if you're gonna go all the, I don't mind that picture. That picture's not a big deal, but it'll come out. Junior year of high school.
That's what Sugar's like. Big deal. So what?
Junior year of
Right,
high
what the
school is the last year I dressed up for Halloween, and so I went all out and went as a dirty, dirty hooker. I went to
Nice.
Goodwill. I got me some platform shoes. I got me a mini skirt. I got me some fishnets and a halter. And I also got me a little string purse. All in all, entire outfit, $15.
I like how you're talking about buying women's clothing, but you're still like, I got me.
Yeah, and I
like
got
a redneck.
and then-
I got me a nice purse.
then so it's 17, it's
Set of
16,
pearls.
17-year-old me, dressed to the nines and all this. I even put on some lipstick. And then I did not shave my legs. So
No, absolutely
Oh my
not.
God.
So they were super hairy, and my catchphrase was going around, "Dala Mikihara."
Oh my God.
What's the weasel hair picture?
Yeah, Georgia, you shut your filthy mouth right now.
Georgia, please find
Yeah, we need some pictures of Chris. Anyway,
that picture. I need
And you
it.
keep it
I need
shut.
Sugar, do you have anything that you did as a kid that you look back probably wasn't a smart thing to do?
No, because
Besides-
I've always been like super smart and responsible.
Okay, besides dudes, we know that you did those, but
First, no, you know what I regret as like a teenager,
Not doing dudes
17,
sooner.
18. No, exactly. Like I should have been getting harvesting the D. Like I was like a little prude. I was like, I'm gonna wait for my husband. No, I should have been getting it while the getting was good.
I like how she still was like, I'm going to remain chaste and wait.
Right.
But it's teenage Sugar who hasn't fully embraced who she is yet. It's going. I'm going to wait for my husband.
All it took was one fall into a dumpster, changed everything.
That was. It's like
I feel
when
like this
Batman
is
gets
the
changed
beginning
going
of a-
down the pole.
This is the beginning of a terrible sitcom. Like Sugar's just walking down the street, and all of a sudden trips and falls in a dumpster and comes out dressed as a drag queen and
Yes.
that's how it
That's
starts.
I-
Show me the
watched that.
penises.
That's how it
All I can hear is some
Yes.
80s music, and then it's just Sugar coming out of the dumpster with like that sugar.
wiping her mouth.
Oh my God.
All right. I got a couple things I want to say. First of all, someone mentioned that they're having a problem with the Facebook stream. Is anyone else having problems with the Facebook stream? If you are, let me know.
I'm looking at it.
But there's a couple things you can either go. We have the Instagram stream. We have the Twitter stream. We have the Andrews in the Morning
Fancy.
Twitter, Andrews in the Morning Instagram, and also we do have now we're on the Love My 419 Facebook page as well. So
cool.
plenty of places to see us. That actually started tonight, so check that out. What else I want to tell you? Oh, this portion of the show brought to you in part by Lawn Greetings of Toledo. Say it in the yard for all occasions. Check them out. Also, Bear Auto Detailing in Toledo. Details starting at $20. Keyword Andrew Z for those special deals.
I keep forgetting to ask. Is this bear as in
B-A-E-R.
a wild bear?
B-A-E-R.
Okay.
Yeah, I should mention that. And Lufka, all natural skincare and household cleaners, reusable household products, natural toothpaste, body scrubs, soaps, lotions, essential oils, and so much more. Check them out. Lufka, all natural. All right. What do I want to say to you? What's the matter,
Gina
Colleen?
went all lunch lady
I have
haircut.
something. So obviously I'm late because I was
Yes.
getting Mexican food and also then ice cream. So, but I'm on.
Might be pregnant.
I'm on my way home with my delicious ice cream, and the windows are rolled down. And you know those like trucks that drive around and like spray for mosquitoes? One of those bitches like turned the corner and sprayed into my mouth. Like literally.
Like that's the worst thing that's ever been there.
This is like the first time I've ever heard her complain about things being sprayed in her mouth.
Well, listen, not like bug spray. I'm like, or either that or it's a government conspiracy and they're spraying COVID. But either way, I don't want it in my mouth.
Says the woman who broke the quarantine several times to get it in her mouth.
I didn't. It's not breaking quarantine if you suck off your exes.
Okay, all right. What are we?
See what happens when you leave the room,
I know,
Dad?
I know. Colleen had to tell me something very important about the kids. I swear, I put the headphones off for 60 seconds, and I come back, and that's why you suck off. I'm like, what is going on? What?
No,
I was being
listen.
coy.
No,
I was
I
being
told
coy.
them-
Sugar ruined it. All right.
I told a whole appropriate story about getting sprayed in the mouth with bug spray,
Okay.
and then something reminded me of being a hoe. I don't know.
Reminded me of
Where'd
being
you-
a hoe.
Sugar, where'd you get Mexican food at tonight?
What's that one on Secor by the Home Depot? El Vaquero. Oh my
Oh,
god.
I love that
El
place.
Vaquero. I like them.
I love it, but this bitch who was our server tonight, she had no cares in the world. Certainly not about refilling my Sprite.
Oh my God! All right.
Was
So
getting
I'm still scared to
pissed.
dine in anywhere.
What's
I
that?
still get my stuff to go. I
yeah,
still get my stuff to go.
yeah. Some other people are saying, by the way, that the stream is screaming is glitchy.
It's glitchy and
It's
freezing.
yeah. So, but yeah, we're still getting our stuff to go for the most part. I think we went to a restaurant. We've gone one time in the last 3 months to actually sit down, and Colleen and I were out of town, and we're like, okay, well, let's go grab something to eat, because we weren't going to be back. That's really the only time that we've done restaurant other than takeout. I'm not ready yet. Look at 20 or 23 of the states. They're still going. The numbers are still going up. I mean, just because everyone stops talking about it doesn't mean it's not still happening.
Oh, I have COVID stats, by the way. I had them up just in case you want them.
Go ahead.
That's good segue.
Yeah, right.
So Ohio was holding fast at about, and I don't go by cases because it is true that we are testing more, so cases are going to go up, and I don't feel like that's a good indicator.
Hey, listen, if you don't test, we don't have cases.
Yeah.
All right.
Right? That's
right.
science.
So, anyways,
If I don't
that's
have-
not my point.
If I don't
I-
have,
You don't test me. I know all the math.
if I don't have a scale, I'm not fat.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
you're still wearing.
Andrew, that one doesn't work. You're
sorry.
still fat.
Okay.
You're still wearing giant-sized pants. Like, what do you mean? Anyway, so we've been holding steady. I look at hospitalizations and deaths, and we've been holding steady at about 500 hospitalizations and 250 deaths per week. And the last 2 weeks have been under 500. This week was 400 hospitalizations and 140 deaths. So, and last week was only I want to say only 200 deaths because that sounds terrible. But there was 200 deaths last week, which is less than it has been in the past. So if this trend continues, then we are on the down slope of this, and so let's hope it continues.
Yeah, Jake, go ahead.
So do you think we need to change the 10-second rule to the 20-second rule so we can start building our immune systems?
What?
Just like
10-second
food on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, pick it up, shove it.
It's
Listen,
way-
just
Sugar's
throw
gonna
it
be
away.
fine.
Just throw it away. Nobody's that
Okay.
broke.
Sugar's immune
Listen.
from everything.
My immune system is very hearty. I'll
Yes.
tell you that much.
Yes. All right. Well, I didn't want to get. I don't want to get too much into the bummed out stuff. It's our last show, and the show needs to be fresh, for people to listen to it on
The week.
Friday,
So,
Saturday, Sunday, or whatever. But I did want to touch on this. I think. Do we want to touch on this Bubba Gump guy from NASCAR?
Bubba
Bubba
Gump.
Wallace.
Bubba Wallace.
Oh my god.
We could just, we can
I'll-
real quick, but it's not a
just real quick.
downer.
Well,
It's very simple. It's not a Jussie Smollett situation. It's not,
which someone just got in trouble for saying it was a Jesse. A former pitcher who's a Trumper called it Jesse Smollett 2.0. For those who don't know who Jesse Smollett is, he's the guy that said that he
Was
that
the victim of a hate crime.
got beat up
Totally.
by a bunch of guys in MAGA hats. He was on the show Empire. And of course, it was all downhill after that. we still don't know what happened on that story.
it didn't
happen.
And I will say the Jesse Smollett analogy is the fact it's this whole thing is foggy as well. It's still a foggy story.
It's
It's
not.
not.
Did we talk
It
about
is
this?
too.
Everybody
Pretty
but you.
straightforward.
Like,
It's
it's straightforward.
super clear.
You did.
Not
It's super
straightforward.
clear. Okay, so there's a garage, and different drivers get assigned to different garages. Bubba Wallace was assigned to this garage. He goes in, and there's a noose hanging from the garage door. Everybody freaked out. Turns out the noose was somebody had fashioned like a handle to pull the garage
Yeah,
up
like
and
a
down.
hanging
It's
grabby
been there the
thing.
whole time, but he didn't know that because he wasn't.
He
wasn't in that garage,
and he didn't find it. It was someone of his
he didn't
crew.
right. His crew person found it, so they called people in. So it wasn't. It was definitely an overreaction, but I feel like they could have figured that within the
Exactly.
NASCAR.
That's how I don't understand how this got as big as it did.
'Cause
I'm the
somebody
crew guy that
posted it.
I'm the crew guy that finds it.
Uh-huh.
I then, because he didn't go straight to the cops, he would have reported it to higher ups at NASCAR
Yeah.
about it, and then NASCAR didn't maybe ask the people previously, "Hey, was this noose there the last time you were there? Like, was this thing?
Yeah,
was this thing
it
hanging
was
there?"
assumed.
But
for sure.
But here's the thing where I think that you guys are missing, and it's a little more Jesse Smollett than that. Not that it, but first of all, I don't know why they're blaming Bubba. He didn't do anything. Like if you see the articles, he's taking it really hard that it wasn't a noose, and the fact that people are attacking him. He didn't do anything wrong. So why are you attacking him, you morons? He didn't do anything. Number one. Number two, he's been racing his whole life, and they say it was a handle to a garage, but he's never seen that before. There's been handles on every garage, on every track he's ever been to, and it's never been in the shape of a noose. So I think there's some people might be downplaying this because they don't want it to be. But Bubba's not giving. He hasn't given up on this. He hasn't.
Well, there's
he's like, why? He
pictures.
still says, why was there a noose? Whether it's for me or not, or whether I would have known, why was there a noose in the garage? It's because that's not the way all the other handles and all the other garages were fashioned. This was a noose. The FBI even said this was a noose.
My cousin called him a BLM agent. I have no idea what that means, but apparently BLM has agents that they send out there.
Hello,
to do
that's
just
the
this sort
Soros
of thing.
squad. Duh.
Oh God!
God,
stop.
I really does anyone know where to apply for Soros money? Because
I know. I would totally wreak havoc and take your side if you'd pay me. Go ahead, Sugar.
I'm breaking everything if you pay me.
Dude,
I
if
don't
Trump,
care.
care.
Trump-
I don't
if
even
Trump
care which
pays me
side
a decent
pays
amount
me.
of money, I'd start supporting him publicly.
Yes, go ahead.
So-
Sorry, I would too.
I'm
Go
for
ahead,
sale.
Sugar.
So my thing with this is that it just kind of reminds us all in today's 24-hour news cycle and with cancel culture the way it is and kind of internet witch hunts, you can't just believe something the first time you hear it. You have to kind of wait for facts to come out. And this has played out a lot of times, whether you're talking about Jussie Smollett or oh God, I have other examples in my head. Examples of these, that Covington kids, where everybody's literally celebrities were this kid should die, he's what's wrong with America. And then the further footage comes out and he's just standing there and the other guy walked up to him. But there's a lot of examples. There's been fake, one of the churches that was burned down, it turns out it was an activist on the left who was trying to frame it, and I see it happening more and more. Just like probably there's more hate crimes. There's also a lot of fake hate crimes because I don't know why, either to prove a point or for attention, but it happens, and it's kind of happened more frequently.
But here's what I'm telling you is that even though we found out that the noose was already there, Bubba Wallace is still saying on CNN, I'm pissed, I'm mad because people are trying to test my character and the person that I am and my integrity, and they're not stealing it away from me, but they're trying to test that. He's not giving up on this. Now, I know that the FBI wants to sweep it under the rug, and I know that NASCAR, it makes sense for them to sweep it under the rug, but I'm just not buying the easy excuse that, it was just a news, it's been
Swept
there,
under
and
the rug,
it's
though.
no big deal. What's that?
But there are pictures of it from
Yeah.
from months and months and months ago.
But it's still a noose, is what he's saying.
I mean,
But like a noose is a type of knot.
A noose is a rope tied a specific way, and
Right.
somebody and that's all it is.
But
Like,
you're not listening to what I'm
we
saying.
used to have one. We used to have a rope on our garage, and it wasn't like the specific noose, but it was tied like it looked like it was a hanging noose.
But you're not listening to what I'm saying. Bubba
I
Wallace,
am.
Bubba Wallace isn't okay with the explanation.
I mean, I got
following
that.
him. So, okay, he's saying he's been in garages his whole life, on tracks, thousands of tracks across
Well,
the
then
country.
he wasn't in Gina's
And
garage
it's-
because she
wasn't
had
in
one.
my garage.
Right.
and it's never been tied like that. That's what I'm saying.
I think
He
it's
said-
also
he
really
said-
hard
hold
to
on.
go from almost being a national hero for being a victim of this to going to, oops, it's been there for
It could
9
be
months.
some. It could be some of that.
You know?
He could maybe be not wanting to let it go because of all
Okay,
this attention on it. But here's the thing: we can't. I just don't think that we can. It seems too easy to explain it away. And like he's saying, whether it was for him or not, he thinks it's still a noose.
And while we're talking about hate crimes that aren't true, we have to make sure, because so far all
We don't
we've
know if this
brought
isn't
up
true.
is left. But there were just 3 cops that pretended like they got poisoned
At
from Shake
Starbucks.
Shack, and it
Or-
didn't
Oh,
happen.
yeah, those bastards.
Yeah.
And there was the cop that ordered their own thing and put pig on their
Yeah.
own.
Yeah, it definitely happens on both sides.
Yeah, you're right.
Takeout
Jake,
thing.
Jake, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Do you think that he thinks that if you tie a rope into a noose, that this whole thing is a nuisance?
Oh my God, you stupid bitch.
That escalated. quickly.
Tifo, go ahead.
Okay, so has anyone actually seen the picture? Because this is literally the first
Yeah, I've
time I'm
seen it.
looking at it. And
It's
the
definitely
only
a
question
noose.
I have here is, was that a noose for ants? Like, what is up with that? How, like,
That
That's
was a
what
lot
it
like the thing
was?
in my garage. Yes.
like noose
Oh my
would not be
God.
my first. I just looked at the picture for the first time, and recognizing that I'm the most lily white person you'll ever meet in your life, noose would not have been my first assumption.
Well,
on that.
it was at waist level. I thought it was like a dick trap. Like you're trying to catch you some D.
So it would have been mine if I was a crew member for the only black NASCAR driver in this whole environment, in this whole climate, and I go into a garage and I have never seen a rope tied like that, and I look and I'm like, holy shit, there's a noose in the only black guy's garage. That would cross my mind. It went very, very far, but that's not what it was.
Well, and there are two things. You can easily see in the times that we're living in, and he's basically been the front man. Bubba Wallace has been the front man for getting rid of the Confederate flags and all this. So, like you said, Gina, a pit crew sees, because they're assigned to different garages. He goes in the garage, he sees the noose. He doesn't know it's been there for a year. So you can easily see. It's just it seems like it's a big misunderstanding. The only thing I'm saying is Bubba Wallace isn't accepting that, and we have no reason we have no reason to question his credibility at this moment. So I just don't know. It just seems too easy to dismiss it, and everyone's on board, FBI and NASCAR, and let's move on. And Bubba's like, well, I don't know if it's really that easy because it's still tied in the news. So that's all I'm saying. Go ahead, T.
I understand what you're saying, but like I said, it goes all the way back to August, and he's never been in that garage. So
But
I
he's
just
saying
feel
even
like
if it
he's going to
wasn't
have
him.
to let it go.
Yeah, okay. Oh,
So-
well, which surprised me, Gina, you're not on his side because usually you're very sensitive to this stuff. So
I am, and at first I was irate, and I was ready to burn
I think
NASCAR to the
everyone
ground.
was. I think everyone was, but now.
But I now seeing the picture and understanding the story, like Sugar said, when you get the whole story,
Yeah.
and now I when they said noose, I'm picturing like a noose hanging from the middle of the garage.
Right.
Like,
that's what I was
Right.
thinking too.
And to
yeah.
explain to somebody, it's like the size of a bar of soap. It's not huge. It's not like
It's
a
like
huge.
then I
it's
know
at penis
that-
level, at penis size. It's a penis trap.
Like Tiefel said, it'd be for ants. Go ahead, Tiefel. Tiefel and
Okay,
you,
so
Dickie.
all right, so I'm a pit crew member for the first black NASCAR driver in history,
Didn't you just say?
and
this?
I walk into this garage, and I see this noose made for leprechauns, and
Oh my God.
and so then, understandably, like Gina said, I'm like, holy shit, someone's being racist.
Uh-huh.
So I have to leave the garage to go inform people of this news. But I have to close the garage in order to do it. How do I close the garage?
I guess I'm gonna have to use the noose.
Oh my
And it
God.
doesn't occur to me at that moment that maybe it's just a functional piece of equipment.
Or a leprechaun
we don't know
trap,
that that's how it
or a
happened.
dick trap.
that was actually a brilliant take. Go ahead, Dickie.
But yes.
Did they find out it was there in August by going back and looking at video, or did somebody just notice it in August and was like, "The hell with
No,
it"?
they have
And then they find
and
pictures.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering how they discovered it. And it was like, "Oh, it was there in August." Like somebody knew it was like,
No,
"Oh
no,
yeah, no,
there's
I saw it in August."
There's 100% the one thing 100% fact that we know, it wasn't put there because of Bubba Wallace. That's 100% fact, been confirmed. I think even Bubba would he even agreed to that. He's just saying, why was it there at all? Whether it was directed at me or not, why was it in?
I think
NASCAR?
people are just upset that they had to walk around the track. As, you know,
I would be. Jesus.
Right. All right. Let's see.
I think the one thing we can agree on is no news is good news.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh my God.
Jake
Jake,
is on
what's your
a
address? I
fun
want to come
roll.
there and punch you.
Oh my God, Jake, what are you doing right now?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Neither do we.
Jesus.
We're just along for the ride, my friend. Just along for the ride. Okay. I do want to talk about this. Dennis Quaid got married in a secret wedding.
He's still alive?
Dennis Quaid
Who's
is
Dennis Quaid?
He's Randy Quaid's brother.
yeah. Randy.
Now that guy might not be alive. I don't know.
No. Randy Quaid's alive.
No,
Randy
Randy
Quaid-
Quaid is like hiding in Canada from molestation charges.
Yeah, I was gonna say
shit.
he got in some shit.
All right, so Randy Quaid was, if you look at the vacation movies, he was the brother-in-law of Chevy Chase.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh,
Randy
okay, I
Quaid.
know who that is.
You know
And
who
he
that
could not be more surprised if he woke up with his head stapled to the floor.
is? And now,
Is he the shitters full guy?
Yes.
yes. Now,
Oh, okay.
Dennis Quaid is his brother, and he's been in a lot of good movies. Can anyone name any of them? I'm not a big movie buff.
I'm opening up IMDb right now.
Okay.
He was in the one baseball movie where he came back as an older man and made it in baseball.
Angela had such a good point, and I have to say it now before it gets stale.
All right.
She said, so NASCAR couldn't afford to fix it?
Yeah, fix the garage.
He was in The Parent Trap, Any Given Sunday, The
I'm
Alamo.
look him up so I can see a picture. I have to see
Yeah, he
it.
was in the Alamo
I'm the
for
same
sure.
way.
Yeah.
The day, he
Was
was
it-
the father in Day After Tomorrow.
Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, Dennis Quaid.
I mean, I can look it up.
Tifa,
while
what was the
you're talking.
baseball movie he was in?
That I don't know.
Field of Dreams.
No, that was
Sorry,
Costner.
that's literally
Here you
the
go, Gina.
only baseball movie I know.
Kevin Costner.
Oh, he's kind of cute. Hey, Dennis.
So Dennis Quaid is 67. He just got married to he's 66 rather. He got married to a 27-year-old.
Good for him.
Her name
Not so much her.
well,
Good for him.
They
Wait,
eloped.
isn't it her?
They eloped to Santa Barbara and were, what do you mean? They were eloped to Santa Barbara and were married at a seaside
2020,
resort
no
on
judge.
June 2nd. He said it was beautiful. He tells People Magazine in exclusive. They had to postpone the wedding. It was supposed to be in April, but then, of course, they had the COVID-19. He said, just looking into her eyes, she was the most stunning bride. She opted for a Hugo Boss suit.
What did you say? It was like a Us Weekly exclusive? Whose exclusive was it?
People Magazine, I think I said.
Yeah, Randy Quaid paid for that exclusive. Nobody cares.
She insists, she's 27, she insists, quote, never met someone who is so in love with life. It's like nothing can bring him down, she says.
Yeah, because he's at the end of it.
Just getting to do life with someone who lives that way is inspiring for me. It changes
She's
my
pretty.
perspective and it brings so much joy to every day. Now, what is the age difference where it's just creepy? Like, is that it? 40 years? Is that it or not?
I mean, the idea that he could be her grandfather kind of makes it really creepy.
Whatever the Anna Nicole age difference was, that's the
That was
exact
creepy.
difference where it's creepy.
He was like 80 and she was 20.
He was like 90 or something crazy.
Yeah, go ahead, Jake.
there was the dude who played in the Green Mile. I can't remember who it was, what his actual name was. He was like 50 years old, and he married a 16-year-old about 10 years ago.
No, that's
I would
was
say
the guy who
that's
lost.
That's creepy.
that was cut off. But like the 16-year-old parents,
Yeah.
like they were fine with it. They like signed all the paperwork. But they've been married.
I remember.
I think they've been
that
married for like
story.
10 years now. So
I
she's like 26 and he's like 102.
Well, yeah, I remember that story. Go ahead, Gina.
I was listening. I think my neighbors are outside singing. I don't happening
It's a
right
summer
now.
caroling.
So I got totally thrown off
Okay.
about what we were gonna say.
That's right. Miley Cyrus is 6 months sober, and she's
good for
speaking out
her.
about the judgment she feels. So good for that is good for her.
mean,
Been
if-
sober for the past 6 months. At the beginning, it was just about she had a vocal surgery, but then she realized that she dealt with some mental health challenges and did a lot of family history stuff, and decided she's going to quit.
I don't know. Billy Ray Cyrus was my father. I'd have a drinking problem too.
Speaking of which, I was jamming out to Billy Ray Cyrus, "If You Drink, Don't Drive," do the Watermelon Crawl. I was like, this song is highly underrated. It gave me like a flashback.
I mean, the guy spent like 8 years not being able to tell the difference between his daughter and
Well, I don't.
Hannah Montana.
Oh, stop! I don't. When all she'd put on is like a wig or something, it's like. Well, that always surprised me too about superhero, like Superman,
Like Clark Kent.
So you're just gonna throw some glasses on and have no
Well,
idea
he
who
also
I am.
slicked his hair back somehow. Like he always carried hair gel with him because he got in that phone booth with his hair all like askew, and then he come out of there fully suited up with like slick back hair, no glasses.
Go ahead, Jake.
Speaking of superheroes and old people, Michael Keaton is being scheduled to come back as Batman here in one of the next MCU
mean-
movies.
I saw.
Grand
What's up?
Batman,
DC.
Granddad man.
Yeah, they're doing the Batman Beyond, right?
They're talking about that could be the lead into Batman
Batman
Beyond.
beyond the
So-
right age,
Beyond
Well,
the
Batman
Batman.
Beyond
will-
was a cartoon series.
beyond
in the
his
early
prime.
2000s.
I was gonna say,
But
is it gonna be like a cartoon?
No, he's going to play like an older Batman, Bruce Wayne, who's passing on the mantle to the next generation.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
The first Batman movie turned me gay.
Turned you gay?
Oh my god, I had such a crush on Batman. I used to like try to fall off of things so he could get me. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
The first Batman movie, my father took my brother and I too. We sat down. We're in the middle of the theater, and it's packed with people. And in the first scene of the Batman movie, there's like he encounters some bad guys, and they're fighting, and one of them shoots him, and he falls down. And so my dad just looks around, stands up, is like, "All right, movie's over, boys. Let's go."
I remember when
It's like 5 minutes into the movie.
Oh my god.
Which, by the way, that Batman with Michael Keaton came out 31 years ago.
Oh my god, I'm so old.
I know. I remember when Christopher Reeves, the first Superman, because Christopher Reeves was when they did the reboot. He was the first reboot of Superman, and he would have a curl in front of his hair.
Yes.
My mom kept trying to perm my curl, but it wouldn't stay. Like I was trying to get a curl, and so she put is it called permanent? Is that what you put in your hair to like make it do stuff? And she was trying to give me that curl in the front of my head, and we just could not get it to stay.
I can't imagine you with like one hair, let alone a curl on your forehead. Like,
And that
did it
was
just
the
grow
only
out
hair
of the
he had.
forehead? Where'd it come from?
It was all bald.
Now he just draws
except
it
for
on
that
with a
one little
Sharpie.
bit of hair that he's trying to curl.
Shut up. All right. Here's one thing I want to do before we get out of here. Is what's something that you recently found out that it seems like everyone else already knew or should have known, but that you just found out about it? So I have one, and the other day I posted about Jimmy Carter. And Jimmy Carter, who is one of our presidents, and he's at 95 years old, and he's works for Habitat for Humanity, and they're going to build like 25 houses, him and his wife, and they're both still alive and whatever. So this dude's done some amazing things. He's had really an amazing life post-presidency. And I had no idea, because someone made a comment under the post. I had no idea what party affiliation he even was. Like, I didn't even pay attention to
He was a
politics.
Democrat.
Well, yeah, but I didn't even pay attention to politics. It was 40 years ago. Like, I didn't pay. Isn't it 40 years ago? Isn't it about?
Yeah, he was
And
the
you
first
were-
president that was in
You're
office
like
when I was
30.
born.
Why not? Why didn't you pay attention?
He was a peanut farmer.
Well, yeah, I knew that, but I just never knew that. I mean, it's just something you probably should have known, but I didn't really pay attention to politics back then, and I didn't know that he was
He was the one who got him. He got the people out of Iran, right? And that was like his last active thing he did in office before he left and Reagan took over.
Well, I remember the only thing I know about him is everyone says he's a shitty president. Like I said, I didn't really.
He was one term. He was one and done.
He was a one-term shitty president, but I never knew what party he was. But he's done amazing things after.
I like how he never paid attention, but he's still making the judgment of shitty president.
No, I said that's the only thing I know. Everyone says everyone says he's a
And
shitty
wasn't
president.
it like
I have
he
no
wasn't
idea.
actually shitty? He was just like
No,
bad
no,
at communicating and stuff. Like he actually did good stuff. I don't really know.
I have no idea. But anyway, so is anyone else got anything that you probably should have known, but you
I
just
feel like
didn't?
that happens to me like every day, but I can't think of one. But like daily, I'm like, oh, that's how that works.
Gina, go ahead. You got one?
I learn something new every day, but this one was really big. And like when I posted on my Facebook page, like, does anybody else not know this? And I was really literally the only one. I was talking to Dubs about Dwayne Haskins, from OSU, the quarterback from OSU. He went to the Redskins. And I was like, and then my cousin said, oh, it'll make you happy to know that he's been a Redskins fan his whole life. So Dubs says, well, where's he from? Because usually Redskins fans are in proximity, to the team. Mm-hmm. So I look and I said, well, he's from, I forget what I said. Like I forget where he's from, but he's from like Connecticut or something. So, no, he's on the other side of the state. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, well, you said that usually Redskins fans are close and he lives in Connecticut and Redskins play in Washington. He's like, yeah, Washington, D.C. And I had no idea that the Redskins, and I'm a football fan, you guys. Like, I love football. I just don't pay a lot of attention to NFL.
You thought they played in Washington State?
My whole life. My whole life. And I'm like, I always wondered, like, were there like a lot of Native American tribes in Washington? Like I didn't know. I never put two and two together. And then it just, like, I just sat there for a long time, like contemplating life, and everything in my life is a lie now because I had no idea. The Washington
Which is crazy because you're a huge sports fan.
I love the sports. I had no idea.
You love the sports?
I mean, I'm a Lions fan. I don't care. Lions fans don't give a shit.
That's funny.
We lost all hope.
Yeah.
I never knew.
Does anyone else have anything that they probably should have known and found out and was like, whoa?
So growing up, and people think I'm joking about this when I tell them, but growing up, I really loved the song ZZ Top's Pearl Necklace. For some reason, I just loved it, and I would sing it around, and it'd be in my head all the time. And I was 27 years old before I learned that song was actually about getting a blowjob. Like, and what's crazy is it's right in front of you in the last stanza here. It's like she was getting bombed and I was getting blown away. She held it in her hand, and this is what she had to say: a pearl necklace. On there, like, how did I not
reading that? Like that,
27
you
years
just molested my ear by those lyrics, and you reading them. I'm like, I feel very uncomfortable now.
You molested my ear.
But 27, like, not 27, because at some point I was a baby, but like, we'll say like 20 years.
I've been a baby with a beard, just came out with a beard.
Dude, that's
out with a beard, pissed off about something.
That's what I mean.
A beard and a tie.
God, it's effing cold in here. Can you put some clothes on me? God, it's so ridiculous.
So, no,
Doctor's a moron. What are you doing?
It was
actually, Doctor.
Do you not see I've got slime all over me? Get it off. Like, oh God, baby Tiefel is an asshole.
Hey, I got ripped from the only home I knew.
Gross.
You know the song "Closing Time's" about having a baby.
What? Gross.
I thought it was about the bar closing.
That's what everyone. But that a few years ago they came out and they're like, no, it was about a baby being born. Like, get out of the womb.
Time for you to go now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he literally says, "Finish your alcohol or beer."
Yeah.
What kind of birth is this?
My kind of birth.
Exactly. Right? Sounds like a good one.
All right, does anyone else have one of those?
I got one. I got one, actually.
Go ahead, Jake.
I saw it in a meme the other day. And Gina, I saw that you were drinking a Gatorade earlier, right? You still got the bottle in front of you?
It doesn't work. I tried this.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you're supposed to be able to fit the cap on the bottom So it's bullshit. Okay. Never
Fake
mind.
news.
Turn
Well,
it up.
it
Turn
was
it
a
up,
different
turn it
type
over.
of bottle.
It might be a different type, but
Okay. Yeah. No, because
does not-
the other one has a cap where you can plug it on the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's
actually,
not-
that's
Fancy.
actually,
But
that's actually
see, all
genius.
these things they come out with, and they're like, "Oh, did you know?" Like the Chinese food container that turns into a plate, or
Yeah.
things, or the cap thing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
first of
they're-
all, who
or-
bothers with plates with Chinese
right?
takeout?
But they're like, this was the original intended use, and you're like, if that was the original intended use, why was it never part of the marketing? Like, you think Gatorade would go through the trouble of designing the bottles
To be
the cap would
secret?
fit on the bottom, and not be like, hey guys, check out our cool bottle design.
It's
This
true.
is why we said you were born and came out. Well, actually,
Came out an
this is why.
asshole.
Not an asshole, I was a contrarian. Get it right.
Okay.
Hey, somebody else didn't know the Redskins played in.
Really?
Yeah. Natasha said she didn't know either till she went to see a game in Maryland.
All right. So
you guys never knew why people kept wanting the Redskins to change their name?
I mean, we should change the name anyway. It doesn't matter what state
I
they're from.
get it now.
Who cares?
Like the city they're from.
what?
Yeah.
That's
Washington.
most of the football teams there, dude.
Just say glitter butts, sugar.
Yeah.
Forget it. Just say
Get
glitter
up-
I
butts.
thought she was
Better
thinking
bet.
there was a city out there called Redskins.
Don't try to get in on the sports conversations.
True,
All right,
true
we're gonna-
story though. My Wi-Fi is called Glitter Butts.
All right,
You're
we're
welcome.
gonna we're gonna take a commercial. I'm gonna read a couple commercials. Gina, why don't you get some final things on the comments from the Facebook pages, and then we'll have final thoughts, and then we'll say goodnight. This portion of the show brought to you in part by our friends over at Glick Electrical Services, providing services to both commercial and residential clients. Our services range from installing simple light fixtures to installing generators in factories. Do it all to provide service you deserve. Call today. New Power Property Services, cleaning and disinfecting for your home, your office, your rental property, your apartment, anything. They do your cleaning, so check them out. Twice But Nice Retail Shop. They buy and sell baby equipment, boys, toys, books, outerwear, clothes, formula, diapers, and more to fit all your family needs. DMX Lawn and Landscape.
Y'all gonna make me mow your lawn up in here, up in here.
Make sure you get them to mow your lawn. And Extreme Class Limousines, our friend Limo Guy, who's also grocery guy and also errand guy, so he'll take care of you. And finally, Gloss and Glam by Julianne, your Lip Sense distributor. Do all Colleen's makeup, so if you want to look as good as Colleen does, you can't do that. Come on. Hit up Julianne. All right, Gina. Anything from the comments, and then final thoughts.
Wait, we have a new comment. Oh, it was just about the Washington. She's still having a conversation with me. But yeah, no, we're all caught up on comments
Are you
actually.
going to say hi to anybody? I mean, when people check in, why don't you give
I mean,
them
yeah,
shout
let's
outs?
say hi to Tony, to Crystal, Natasha, to my
Welcome to
friend
your first
DT, Georgia, Angela,
No,
Mike.
she doesn't deserve it.
Who?
Cat high back.
Georgia.
Not until she gets that picture of you.
Oh, Georgia's got me. I love Georgia. So, Tivo's so mad because now we're Facebook friends. So, hi, Deborah. And, of course, Mama Judy. Always
Hi,
love
Mama.
Mama
Always.
Judy.
Hi, sis, too. Sorry I embarrassed you.
Oh, and Ashley. Yes, I'm sorry. I scrolled right by Ashley. But, yes, Ashley's here.
And final thoughts? Anybody?
I have a final thought.
Yes, go ahead. Sean.
Yeah, my final thought is I saw a new psychiatrist today. And if you're listening, Mr. Psychiatrist, first of all, I think you were really, really hot. And second of all,
I
give
don't
me
think you
Adderall.
can do that.
No, first of all, he
Yeah,
can't. I don't think
it's
he
called
can listen.
transference.
I don't think he.
Hey, it was a missed connection.
He-
Oh, I
Do you have
can't.
daddy issues?
Oh, baby, do I.
Yeah.
Her dad. Now I'm just imagining her dad being like the great Santini.
Okay, but like seriously, psychiatrist, you're hot. Give me Adderall. Thank you.
Give me Adderall. All right. Anybody else?
Baseball is
Oh,
back.
Yeah,
He's
60,
willing to pay for the Adderall.
game season.
And here's the thing, too. The Tigers are going to be having a lot of their players doing workouts at Fifth Third Field. So maybe if you sneak by on the outside of the stadium, you might be able to sneak a peek at some of the
What
players.
happened with the pay? Are they getting their full pay, or what's going on with that?
They're doing a 60 game, getting prorated. They get paid for each game that they play. You get tested multiple times for COVID, and then if you get it, they're going to do a COVID injury list this year, and then they're going to do, I think, an expanded playoff as well. So
You
It's
know
gonna be-
lots
it's gonna
of
be a
Baseball wasn't
race.
boring enough. That sure was.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm happier than a pig rolling around in his own crap. I'm sorry.
All right,
I'm sure you are. I'm
Jake-
excited too. I like baseball. I'm
Jake
just kidding.
Dickey, Chris Tiefel, Sugar Vermont, Southside Gene. I'm Andrew Z. You guys have a great week. We'll see you on Monday. Bye, everybody.